I know that I'm gonna fuck it up, and I really fuck it up. Hey everyone, my name is Kevin and welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already because I need more subscribers right now, so thank you so much if you do so. Today I would like to talk about my personal experience taking the test of English as a foreign language, aka TOEFL. I took it on Saturday, November the 2nd, 2019, so it's long time ago, but I believe that it still can apply to you all. TOEFL is required if you need to apply for the school in the US or some kind of like competitive jobs, and for obvious reason I need it for my graduate school application last cycle. I will skip all the things that you might already know, like how to register for the test, how much money for the test, or how long will it take, yada yada yada. You might probably know it. If you don't know, go check worldwideweb.ets.org. No paid partnership. Well, let's go back in time. Firstly, after I arrived at the test center, I have to queue for a registration and the tester oath. It is the oath that you will declare that you won't reveal any of the question in the test to the public. So for this reason, I couldn't tell you as much because I have to keep the secret, but I will tell you as much as possible. So back to the registration, you need the photo ID and your confirmation email, which you don't have to print. You just like show the email in your digital device or the cell phone. Then I got a queue ticket to get into the room for like do some registration, which consists of taking photos, read the oath, and signing on some papers. After the registration is done, I have to wait outside the room, and not long the staff, who seems to be a very knowledgeable and very cool lady, just call me for the to get inside the room. Before going into the room, we have to like check like do I have like grammar tattoo or vocabulary bracelet. They even have this magnetic stick to like scroll you all over your body to check are you like over metalized. But anyway, I am pretty honest and boring person, so I don't take anything interesting inside the room, so I let in very easily. About the outfit, I wore a sweater and a oversized pants because I need warmth and I want to feel relaxed, so I wear something very comfortable. And when I got into the room is freaking cold, so I'm so lucky that I wore the sweater. So I hope you guys will wear some comfy outfit too. So when I go inside the room, my first impression is it is a sloped classroom with full of outdated computers and a future board partition. It's so weak, and when I tap it, it's just bound to crumble. So first thing first, I have to test the microphone, like to see if the microphone is working or not. But when I test it, the volume bar doesn't move at all. So that's my panic attack number one. But I try to let it go because it wasn't speaking part yet, so I can do it later. So it's time for the test. First up is the reading part. I got a D+ on English reading class in the college, and I hate that class so much, but my attitude and my skill on English reading gets better when I join the master program. So it seems that reading part doesn't bother me anyway.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
I took a lot of practice tests, so it's all good. I expect that I could get more than like 23-24 each points. This part consists of 3 passages and 10 questions each, and the order of the question is just chronically from the reading. So I think you don't have to read all the passages, you just read the question first and come back to find the answer from the reading. So if my memory is not wrong, I believe that the first 2 passages was about ancient civilization and medical technology, and the third one I can't remember already, maybe history. Sorry, I heard that other people get 4 passages, so I believe that one of them are experimental part, which is for research purpose. By the way, I got 22 points from this part, which is great. So the key takeaway is that read the question first and find the answer in the passage later. Okay, let's move to the second part, the listening part. I took a ton of practice tests and I often get the high amount of correct answer. Sometimes I got like 29 of 30, so I am so confident on this part. But in reality, I think I bombed the listening part. The most surprising thing for me is that it's break into many parts, and each part they will have like a weird time frame. Like for this two conversation, you have 4 minutes and 29 seconds to answer, and the next section is like one lecture and two conversation with 7 minutes and 13 seconds to answer. So I find it weird, and I don't know that the time frame will gonna be like this. So I think it is very important for you to understand this time frame too, because you have to manage time to answer the question by the time slot that they give to you, so you won't like answer at some specific question for a long time and you don't have like spare time to answer other 29 questions. This is where I mess up, and I do not want you to mess up like me. And because of I couldn't cope with the time, it's come to my second panic attack. I have 2 strikes today already, so that's f***ed up.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I almost couldn't do it. In my mind, I was like,
Kevin, you such a vain prick. Why are you so confident? You would have like prepared better.
so I have this voice in my mind, so I couldn't focus and I couldn't take the useful notes, which is so crucial for this part. I just fucked up the test. In this listening part, I thought I would get like 17 to 19 points, but actually when the report cards come out, I got 22 points. So I am on the moon. And after the listening part ends, we will have 10-minute break. So I try to gain myself back by going to the toilet, wash my face, eating some cake that I bought that morning, and I drank some of the coffee, so order to panic attack go away. So I'm ready for the next part, which is speaking part. I know that I'm gonna fuck it up, and I really fuck it up, so no surprise. But what could be better is like when I test the mic for the second time before the speaking test, that bloody volume bar doesn't move at all. I felt so scared, and my first panic attack come back. It is my third panic attack of the day. Oh my god. So I called the staff to check it up, and they just like come very quickly, and he didn't like look closely at my monitor. He said that it's fine, it's okay, and he just go away. So, and I felt so petrified and feel like, does he care? Like, does he bother? So I have no choice. I have to work with what I have, that bloody microphone, and I hope for the best that everything that I have will work out. And you know what? Later that night, I met my friend and doing some like podcast recording, and he has this, high technological Yeti microphone which not absorb my voice at all. When I listen to my voice, it's like person who talk from far away. It's like the sound of the ghost or something. I felt so creepy, and it's 2 a.m. in the morning, so oh my god, it's so creepy. I don't know how to tell you at all. So I wonder that is the mic in the morning record my voice? So back to the TOEFL speaking. There are 4 tasks for you to conquer. First task, independent task, or what I call is Miss Universe question. I call it like that because it seems critical, but they don't want anything critical from your mouth. They just want you to speak correctly, grammatically, and make sense, and sounds and accent is not too weird for the American ear. I remember exactly what the question is, but I'm not gonna tell you because they will sue me. But as far as I can tell you, it is about history and education. Because of that panic attack number 3, I couldn't talk, and when I prepped myself to take this speaking test, I always couldn't do that. In addition, I couldn't do it at all with my unpeaceful mind. For the Miss Universe question part, I totally mess up, so I didn't expect much from this part. Second, third, and fourth tasks are integrated tasks that you have to read and listen before speaking. It's gonna be about campus related topic or wholesome lectures. It's not that hard. I could do it all, but inside of me was crumbled, and it went horribly enough to drag my points down until the fourth task that I could get myself back on track. And I believe that I did the fourth task very well, but it might be too late, and I got 17 points from this speaking part, which you can see that I can talk to you, I can make you understand me pretty well enough. And I think this number doesn't reflect how good or bad English speaker you are or not. No, please don't tell me. So big lesson learned from this is that if you struggle with English speaking and want a high score, just hire someone to teach you or to listen to you and correct you, because you might not identify the acceptable bar for this, so just hire someone. But if you are on budget, that is fine too. Just ask for your friend who is native speaker or near native level to correct you. But I believe that help sometimes has its own quota, so you can't ask them for much, so just pay it. Hire someone. And another important thing is that you have to practice meditation like Zen, Buddhism, scientific mindfulness, whatever you can practice, because it will help you manage your anxiety. So if you don't have this skill, you might mess up just like me. So practice some meditation. Now, after the speaking part ends, it's time for writing part. English writing is a part of my minor in college, so you can see how much passion I have for the English writing. By the time I wrote the essay, some people around me, to be exact, a girl who sat next to me, she started her speaking test. But I am so focused at the time and very concentrated, so her voice doesn't affect me that much. I just like, okay, I hear your voice so good for a few seconds, and then I just do my thing. So if you are easily distracted, just enter your room as last person as possible, because you will start to do speaking test in the last batch of person, so you won't be affected by other people speaking when you take writing test. The first task of all is integrated task, which you have to read and excerpt from the textbook for the few minutes. So after reading, you hear the lecture regarding the things that you read. So your job is finding what professor in the lecture agree or disagree with the textbook. As far as remember, task is about geology and coal mining and reusable energy, which I'm not digging in. So when you hear the lecture, you need to take notes point blank, but the agreement and disagreement is quite obvious, so when you hear the lecture, you can identify right away. I'm so sure that you can do that. I believe in you. So I believe I wrote around 350 words consisting 3 points in the reading and the lecture, which they are always the same. And I later say like, does the professor agree or disagree and how? Surely we need some introduction and conclusion, but I left it and do it later because I want to see the vibe of the essay first, and I try to make it seem more coherent. Next, the cherry on top of all, at least for me, is writing task. If you make it done, you can go home. Basically, it is an essay that you have to write from the prompt, and it should be written in 5 paragraph format, which consists of introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So as much as I can reveal, the topic is about celebrity and politics, which is my cup of tea. I had so many ideas about freedom of speech or how media should stand with the democratic values and power of fame, something like that. So I remember that I wrote somewhere around 420 words. Firstly, I write the skeleton of the essay first, like this is the introduction and this is the 3 body parts and this is the conclusion. Just some few words, what topic I gonna touch, and then I start to write the body first, just as the integrated task, and I try to give very clear examples in each body paragraph, like Taylor Swift sued the sexual harasser, or Iceland in Eurovision 2019, and another case I can't remember, maybe Lady Gaga, I don't know, I can't remember. In the writing session, don't forget to leave a few minutes to recheck the grammar and the spelling. I always leave like 2 minutes for rereading, and I always try to correct some weird and incorrect, grammar and vocabulary for the last minute so that it looks perfect. For the advice for this, I think one way is that you have to write a lot and go back to basics sometime. In my case, I read in the secondary level to make my base as strong enough not to do something wrong at a very basic level. And then I believe that if you have a good basics, you can do something very fancy or very acrobatic. So make your base strong first. Then in this part, I got 24, which is the highest of all. I am so proud of myself, and 24 is considered as advanced writers, which is so great. So overall, I got 85 without trying too hard. I know if I tried hard enough and be more diligent, this will bring me much higher score and I can easily apply to my dream school. But you know, it is what it is, and I did my best and I stepped out a little bit of my comfort zone, which is not taking TOEFL at all. So this is good enough for me. Before I leave, I recognize that TOEFL is not only test of how good English you are actually, but it tests how good your test taking skill. It is just imitation of what you're gonna experience in the American campus, but it's not going to be true in your everyday life. Like, you are not artsy guy, so you are not going to choose art class, right? This pool of vocabulary will be lack from your mental dictionary, and nothing is wrong with that. And sometimes it gets ugly because it shows how superior English, like you have to speak like American, so you have a higher score, which lead to uneven value of each accent and way of speaking. So what can I say? It gets ugly sometimes. So don't be ashamed if you have a low score, because it doesn't reflect how good or bad your English skill, and it's not entirely important to your application. You know yourself best, and you know like which place and which kind of speaking is good to you. So if you have a chance to take a TOEFL, hold your head held high and do your best, and don't regret for the results that it might come out. So that's all for me today. I hope you're doing well and keep being the person that you want to be. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again in the next vlog. So hasta luego, bye.